Okay. Let's go. I haven't watched this for, I think, a couple months. I tried doing this before. This is a redo. Foundational film for me. For many. One of the best, all-time best. Oners, openings of a film. Those being two mutually, well, not mutually, those being two different things. We're going to watch the scene. All done in one shot. I don't know how many takes. I wish I knew how many takes. Look how you can see all the way to the back there. The time of day. What time of day is this? All right, there's a bomb in the car, in the trunk. I think it's safe to assume this is a border town in Mexico. Or around Mexico. But really, in a Hollywood movie this time, it's signaling that it's definitely Mexico. Our protagonists entering almost as if they're just standard pedestrians just walking around, right? Dawning on us that, oh shit, these are our stars. I should speak for myself. Walking past the car again. Oh, shut up, Jamie. When you're watching this, and was it 56 or 58? And you're in the theater. Is it dawning on you? Did you already know that this is one unbroken shot? Was there this kind of a
you folks American citizens?
Filmmaker, a stunt
I am, yes.
Where were you born, miss?
performer?
What?
Philadelphia.
The name is Vargas.
Hey, Jim. You see who's here? Sure, Mr. Vargas.
I can't believe this is in this shot.
On the trail of a chocolate soda for my wife.
Think about where this shot started and where it is right now. It's landing in a close-up with dialogue.
A lot of talk up here about how you cracked that Grandy business. Yeah, we hear you caught the big boss.
We're going to
Only
rewatch
one
it, don't
of them.
worry.
The Grandys are a big family. Good night.
No purchases, Mr.
The
Lenniker.
Grandes are a big
I got-
You're
family.
American citizen, miss?
No, I got this ticking noise.
Yeah, okay.
No, really, this is noise in my head.
Mike, do you realize this is the very first time we've been together in my country?
Do you realize I haven't kissed you in over an hour?
Like, how, like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? A screenplay. Where's the director credit? Oh, come on. Janet Leigh. Okay, we'll park it on it. Okay, how you have to fuck with Orson Welles. How do you not fuck with Orson Welles? How do you not fuck with Orson Welles? I think I must have seen this for the first time maybe in junior high, something like that. But by that time, I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker. I had gone through other things, comic books, animation, stuff like that. It always in the back of my mind. For some reason, I knew film was in my future, but I didn't know yet. I think that writing, directing, being kind of guiding the whole thing, overseeing it, whatever you want to say about those things, generating it. Anyway, I finally decided, yes, no, I want to at least direct movies. And when that switch flipped, my father was there. my dad. And he says, well, okay, well, you got to watch some shit. So I saw this 7th grade, maybe, something like that. I don't know how I saw it. It must have been on VHS at the time. And I knew that Orson Welles was one of the greats. I might have actually seen this on film, now that I think about it, at summer school. Anyway, just it totally imprinted on me. Everything about this. The bravura, if that's correct. I don't know if that's correct. The audacity, the competence. All right, let's look at it again. Okay, so maybe first kind of I'll focus a little bit on narrative, like what's happening in terms of the story. I need to get my levels right here. You know, we're coming in as a moviegoer, and we're sitting down, and we're taking this movie in, and we're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Oh, shit. A bomb. Right up. Close up. Right? Focusing on that. I don't know if I need to play through in real time, right? Okay, we're drawn to the laughing. Do we hear the laughing before we right? We're listening to the ticking. Yeah, we hear the laughing, and then right in their light, we assume that they're, you know, obviously, okay, so this guy's running along. He's trying to beat them through the car. I'm assuming, okay, is this going to be like, you know, all the gangster movies I've seen before? As soon as they get in and they turn the ignition, is the car going to blow up? Right? Is that the cliche already by this point? It's definitely a bit of the cliche now, right? Like you're always waiting for the car to turn over, and when it... Okay, so it didn't. It didn't. All right, the titles are running. So now we're in a title sequence. We know this is probably gonna go on maybe as long as that. So it's not as desolate as we thought, right? It's nice and bustling. Okay, like I said, we're learning, you know, okay, this is a market area. Maybe you recognize, I think this is supposed to be Tijuana or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've seen this. Okay, the car is still not blowing up. The bomb is in there. What's going on? Okay, so, okay, the camera's moving before. We're coming in. Oh, shit, that's Charlton Heston and Janet Leigh. All right, that's their stars. That's how we're introducing them. Okay, they're clocking the car. They see it. Okay, yeah, they're definitely the stars of the movie because we're not moving along with the bomb. It's still maybe a little too loud. Okay. Oh, shit, the bomb's still in it. There was a chance that it could have gone ahead and blown up ahead of them, right? But no. Oh, shit. Okay, there's a lot of people around now. This is really... Every second that car is getting delayed, it's staying in the vicinity of not only everybody there, but of our heroes, right? At last, finally, some authorities. Okay, they're gonna do a check. They're gonna check the trunk. Oh, okay, all right. Well, see, he's just getting waved through, at least for now. All right, we're getting okay. What's actually going on with this bomb, right?
You folks American citizens?
Okay, we definitely know. Okay, obviously where we are, right? We're learning a lot here. We're learning a lot. We're learning that. Are we learning a lot?
What?
Philadelphia.
The name is Vargas.
Well, we're definitely learning it's a progressive, mixed relationship, as they say in academia, right?
Hey, Jim. See who's
Orson always pushing the issue just a little bit, right?
Another dope ring?
On the trail of a chocolate soda. From
How can you not love the two of them together? Like they're just
Hell, we're
Yeah, well, Mercedes.
so sexy. They're like the confidence,
Right, officer.
hey.
the respect,
Hell, we're
right? We're learning he's somebody of some importance that travels between worlds, as it were, right? Why am I going backwards?
On the trail of another dope ring?
On the trail of a chocolate soda for my wife.
Yeah, he's just trying to be a normal guy.
Can I
Love
get
him,
through?
love him. Look at this
A lot of talk up here about
entitled
how you cracked that
prick,
Grandy
right?
business. Yeah, we hear you caught the big boss.
Only one of them. The Grandies are a big family.
The bomb is still in the car, and in case you were,
Hey, I got this.
You American citizen, miss?
No, I got this ticking noise.
No.
she's got a ticking noise in her head. She hears it.
No, really, this
All right.
ticking noise.
Oh
in
shit,
my
what's gonna
head.
happen, right? We're moving off. It seems like they're finally in the clear.
First time we've been together in my country.
Do
Excuse me.
haven't kissed you in over an hour.
Shame on you. Oh! Abbreviated by violence, right? Again, leading with the sound. That's both a cost-saving measure, right? When you can program the audience to wait or anticipate things off screen. It opens up the world, right, of the frame, of the movie. Lets you know you got to keep your wits about you. Car blows up. All right, we're finally... So, a couple different things going on here, right? Like, the single shot, it's not... It is a stunt. It is a stunt. Let's be honest, right? It's a hot shot stunt, right? It's a guitar solo. It's starting off the album with a guitar solo, right? And it's like, it's not only technically a marvel, because it keeps going and going and going, both, I don't know, I'm saying both before I know what I'm going to say, lulling you into the constancy of it. It's like, there's also clearly a building tension. There's this thing that I parrot a lot, and I'm sure I'm getting it wrong. Tarkovsky, in his book Sculpting in Time, if you're a filmmaker and editor, I highly recommend. I mean, you might, if you're new to it, you might want to brush up on some Eisenstein montage editing technical talk before you get into this. But he has this idea of shot pressure. Well, he thinks the basic element of cinema is not the cut, but the shot. You can get into some granularity about that, because even within a shot, it is a succession of still images that make up the strip that, when played through, has the illusion of a consistency of a persistence through space and time. So instead of the cut being the essential film element, he sees the shot as being this essential film element. I might be getting this wrong. I think this is the essence. And he says that the pressure within that shot as a filmmaker is, it's a good thing to keep clock on, because if you it's kind of like, I think he describes, you can't make a slowly paced shot into a frenetic, high-paced montage. I mean, you can do a little bit, but inherently there within the shot, because it was done at such a low energy, maybe it's such a slow pace, you kind of can't ramp it up beyond maybe a certain threshold. I don't remember if this is actually stated within the book, but it's something I think about a lot, that the longer the shot goes on in a certain dynamic, the pressure also builds, right? The longer, it might involve a few elements, but in this case, we have a literal ticking clock going on, right? So the longer we're sustained within the shot, we know we're in real time, that given the kind of genre that we're watching, right? This crime, detective noir thriller, that thing's going to go off sooner than later. And the longer that the shot goes on, I mean, I've seen this so many times, it's kind of hard to think back what it was like as a first-time viewer. But the longer it goes without cutting and changing dynamics as it goes along, I think that's the thing. I think maybe that's the thing that maybe relieves some of the pressure, right? Is how things go off camera, come back into camera. There's different focuses, so it's almost like resetting the palate. If you're you're eating a bunch of high class food or whatever it is, right? They kind of try to pace that stuff out, so it's just not all salt all the time, or all that kind of stuff. So But even that's even more remarkable, because the thing is played for this, both, I said both again at the same part. It's such a relaxed way of coming into the film too, right? Like, it's got like a groove going on, right? It feels like I'm guessing this is probably actually morning. where the sun. I'm guessing the sun is probably rising. I'm guessing they were shooting all night, and I'm guessing this has got to be one of the last takes that they're actually getting. So you're getting these different emphasis. What was I actually saying? Shit, I totally lost my thread there. I'm just getting lost in the sauce now. This is so beautiful. Maybe I'll come back to it. So it's even more like, it's more like, I don't know, some crazy Pink Floyd solo, intro into one of their albums, right? Like there's all these dynamics. As an audience, it allows you to kind of like, recognize your stars. The threats off camera, we'll throw some titles up, right? Titles are paced to kind of like let you take in some information. I just can't believe it. Like, okay, so from a technical aspect, right? I mean, the fact, just off the bat, starts in this close-up, right? What's probably going on, right? This is probably... this is not a cut. We're starting here. How do you rehearse this? But, okay, so we're on some conveyance. There's no steady cams in these days. This is on some sort of boom, right? There's a camera on a boom. There's an operator up there, probably. I'm guessing... I don't know if there's a focus puller. It seems like it's a pretty wide angle lens, so you could probably... I don't know what the technical aspects, so what they're shooting at, but you can get pretty deep focus. The film is a lot of deep focus. The wider angle lens you kind of go, right? So you don't have to worry about focus pulling so much. You can keep a lot in focus. So there's maybe an operator that's on top of this boom that's on a truck, probably like a stake bed, that's being driven through this scene. So there's somebody perched on top of the boom, operating the camera, at least. Somebody operating that on a moving vehicle, at least one person to help, swing it around, move it down, go down low. There's no video assist at this point, right? They're relying on the camera operator. I'm guessing they're actually seeing through the lens and not a parallax. That would be crazy. So you're really, on each take, you're relying on that operator to nail. You're relying on the operator, the camera operator, the boom operator, the teamster driving the stake bed or whatever the hell it is, right? Hitting every mark along the way with not only the stars, but also the car as it weaves through, all the extras in the background that are actually obstacles moving through with props and all this other kind of stuff. And you have people, I don't know how many are recycling, right? Like, are these all new people each time, or are they running from around and in and through again? You got moving vehicles crossing at the right time. And then, so you're also slowing down into a scene, right? Imagine the car's coming to a stop. You got to feather it, so you're actually in this composition at this point, right? Look, I mean, it's not a miss, like, at all, right? Like, you have our guy in the right corner. We see all the way to the girlfriend or the wife or whoever it is in the car. You're moving through. You're still in the same shot. When does it pick back up again? And we got lights hidden all over the place, right? I mean, it's getting brighter in the sky. Yeah, I mean, the car's on the move again, right?
Do you realize I haven't kissed you in over an hour?
And it ends in this. It ends in this. The frame is clear. It's just the two of them. Everything's out of the way. You get the kiss. You get somebody screaming like, boom, off camera, right? And they break and you make him pretend. Because if this isn't, it's not even a car blowing up, right? It's a car on fire dropping. It might even be a model. I don't know. I can't tell. I'm not that good, but it's just remarkable. from a technical perspective. And then, yeah, so you also have, they're probably post-dubbing everything, right? I mean, they're probably recording audio on the day, but this is an era where,
Where were you born, miss?
I mean, maybe there's a microphone here,
Philadelphia.
but there's not a microphone the whole time.
Hey, Jim. You see who's here?
But they're nailing performance even if they're picking it up after the fact, right?
On the trail of a chocolate soda for my wife.
Your wife?
Barely a bride, officer.
Hey.
Yeah, that was a
can
punch-in.
I get through? A lot of talk up here about how you cracked that Grandy business. Yeah, we hear you caught the big boss.
Overlapping dialogue. I mean, yeah, they probably shot it live.
No purchases, Mr. Lineker.
Hey, I've got
You're an American citizen, miss.
This is insane.
ticking noise.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, yeah, they don't like. That's the thing I love about genre and all that is you can really play into like some hilariously dumb stereotypes.
Ticking noise.
Yeah, okay.
No, really, this ticking noise in my head.
For all concerned. Shorthand's allowed.
Do you realize this is the very first time we've been together in my country?
And they mean it. They're in love.
Over an hour.
All of that just to build to a kiss. What a softie. And then of course, he's got a Orson, like you can't let anybody have a kiss in peace, right? You got I mean, he poked the bear. Yeah, sure, you got your lights hidden strategically. That's why you probably, you don't come back around that way. Cuz you got to light that car in particular, right? You got to light in the alley back there. That's some practical. I guess they're punching up the colonnade there, right? So we probably always have the lights on the. Well, I don't know. I just wanted to draw on the screen. You got. That's a lot of natural lighting there. Maybe they got something in the store window. Maybe not. That's the thing I love about this is. The part I love, it's a little artificial with like, when they're hitting here, there's something hitting the car here, but there is a certain movement out of the stages, off of the back lot, into the real world, into real locations that in the late 50s and early 60s started to like open the floodgates where films were running out onto the streets. And in a lot of ways, that makes movies much more real in one way. I don't know. That's probably a video for another time. But the trade-offs you get between a total artificial environment and going out in the real world. And then also there's some other axis that would be, because especially somebody like David Lynch is fantastic at making the banal exterior generic alley Los Angeles behind a restaurant terrifying, right? So there's a certain axis, but there's something there, I think. And there's a clear movement out in the streets to make these things feel more threatening. I mean, if they could have actually spun the camera around and caught the car exploding on camera, I mean, you can't have everything, I guess. That would be the only, further cherry on top, which I'm sure they wish they could have done, but I'm technically, how would you do that then? I guess, you'd have to have some sort of automated car driving down the road at a certain point, right? If you're going to keep it practical, and not, insert CG. But how many cars are you going to blow up, right? There's limits to these things. So this does a couple different things, right? So it goes out into the real world, and as a genre piece, a detective thriller, essentially, it's also clearly working with these heightened, formalistic aesthetics, right? There's a lot of, there's still a lot of German expressionism, in the shadow masses and like how graphical the frame is, right? And how those graphics draw our attention to certain, emotional aspects or certain narrative aspects. There's certain distortions with the lenses. There's a distinct use of aesthetics to emphasize scale and space. It's interesting that it seems to be a fixed lens. It's probably just some like, I don't know. That's probably like, it's wider than 40 millimeter, right? Maybe like around a 20 something, 24 maybe. Who knows? I'm guessing. But it lets you know that, like, while we're in reality, there's these subtle cues of heightened dramatics through the aesthetics, right? It's not a kitchen sink drama, right? We're flexing some aesthetic muscles. Yeah, we got a line of people. Look how many like frame wipes there are with just people, right?
Do you realize this is the very first time we've been together in my country?
Do you realize I haven't kissed you in over an hour?
Yeah, see, and also the wide angle lens, right? It emphasizes anything that's in the center of the frame, right? Near the lens, it's gonna pull that further. It's gonna accentuate the perspective lines, right? The depth within the perspective. It's gonna draw your eye right to, right? The distortion of the lens just draws you right to them. I mean, you could get that with a longer lens, but you're able to know that those two things are tied together, right? Just how he rolls off. Everyone hits their marks in this, like, right? Like, you can't take that for granted. Everybody crosses when they're supposed to cross. I mean, there's no wonder this has been homaged so many times. I'm quick to give credit to Orson Welles himself. I think I can kind of, justify that just by how many films consistently deliver in these ways. But he clearly also knows how to be a collaborator as well, I would assume, it seems. Right? Like, in order to do some bold things, sometimes you kind of have to do that in the spirit of collaboration. Even if it is like a competitive collaboration, and maybe in some regard, right? I think Orson Welles was very much someone who saw filmmaking as somewhat of a competitive sport, if not for the kayfabe of it, right? But I think that it keeps it alive in certain times, right? For certain reasons. Maybe helps correct the record in the master narrative. If you can show up like somebody in Wells and deliver masterworks despite adversity throughout your career and in various arena, you kind of have to be taken seriously. Which is interesting that, like, I don't know. I was going to say that this shot is so masterful in its singularity and its onerism, that it's amazing that by, toward the latter part of his career, when he's making F for Fake, it's all about the cut, right? And other illusions of cinema.
See who's here? Sure, Mr. Vargas. On the trail of another cold drink? On the trail of a chocolate soda for my wife. Your wife? Yeah, you're right, officer. Hey, can I get through? A lot of talk up here about how you crack that brandy business. Yeah, I hear you called.
Can you, just getting to this part of the shot and then blowing your line, you're probably, like, maybe you're allowed a certain, there's a certain budget, a certain margin you're allotted to maybe stumble over a line that you can fix in post-production. But you can't let that check you, right? You got to keep rolling. So, like, you can't look like you missed your line.
No purchases, Mr. Lineker.
Hey, I got this.
You're American citizen, miss.
No, I got this ticking noise.
That's the other interesting thing that's going on, right? Like, narratively speaking, we're starting to wonder. This is probably the last thing I'm going to say, right? Like, I think we're starting to wonder on some level, okay, what the hell is the target of this unsuspecting person, right? Because one thing to note, I guess, in terms of, like, production and all that, it's somebody in a suit, right? It's not some ruffian off some street hoodlum. The targets seem to be of a certain class, for sure. I think it's safe to assume, for whatever reason, they're picking somebody that's at least going toward the border. They must know who their target is because they know where the car is, right? Illegally parked as it is. Maybe they just don't like them. I don't think so. But there is also some entitlement baked into that parking job, right? Oh, okay, so I don't want to lose the thread of that, right? So it's clearly somebody of some means, at least means beyond the general location that we're presented with. I'm sure this was a very nice car of the time. Certainly a convertible, right? There's some money going on, so maybe the person is a target. But as it goes on, right, I think we start to assume that it's not them, right? That at a certain point we flip over and, okay, who is the target? I think on some level, we're going to assume that, our heroes are certainly viable options. But then as we get more towards the border, we start to realize, okay, there's clearly other implications here, right? So that kind of recontextualizes the lead villain, as it were, that's setting the bomb, right? There's some higher political aspect to this terroristic bombing, right? It's turning in not from a hit, but to like some sort of maybe fabulous hit. I haven't seen this movie in so long. But certainly bordering on a terroristic thing, which, it levels up all of this movie, right? And that's something I think that Wells is excellent at doing, right? Like, and this is something that I often praise, in particular, Japanese Yakuza films for, particularly of the 60s, is that there is something to be said about a film, especially when it's, dealing with socio-political criminal issues. What level of the stack do they attack, right? Is it all street level crime, right? Do they get into the history of these, the lineages of these gangsters, as it were, right? And then also, do they place them within a larger context? And then do they also show how that interfaces with their antagonists in the form of the governmental police forces, right? I think we know through history that there's been a certain, semi-permeable membrane between those two, between all three of those stacks, right? That there might be some sort of revolving door policy. So, just all the levels that Sensei Wells is playing within. He's hitting every level of the stack, right? He's using every part of the frame, every part of the device throughout this film. I mean, if you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. I don't even know what version I've seen, unfortunately, because this is yet again another movie that has been cut to hell and back by separate entities. I don't even know what versions I've seen. I have this 4-version disc set. I should probably watch it. So, I mean, there is something, on a metatextual level to be said about Orson Welles operating within cinema, but also operating within society, within culture, trying to a certain extent, be a good gatekeeper within those circles. And, kind of maybe punch back at the machine every now and then, which got him in a little bit of trouble. But it makes him and his movies that much more electric. When there's so much juice in all of them. What did I miss? I guess I was going to compare it real quickly to Hitchcock did a movie. Oh, this is maybe in terms of suspense, right? Hitchcock is kind of credited with, if not inventing suspense. Well, I don't think he invented it, but I think he clearly identified its parameters for suspense, right? It's when there's a certain amount of dramatic irony that the audience is aware of, but that the characters aren't aware of, that is operating simultaneously and adversarially to whatever's going on. So, and the longer that goes on, the more suspense builds, but you have to be able to manage that, right? Either in the case of Orson Welles, in his opening sequence of his movie, imagine if it didn't work, does in one shot, in one take, and as it goes on, the pressure sort of builds up in many dimensions, right? Like I said. Similarly, Hitchcock was definitely a fan of the cut. So, and in this, he manages it in quite a different way, right? There's other ways within montage. If you haven't seen this film, Sabotage, it's been a minute since I've seen it. I know it's famous for this very sequence where I can't remember if you actually see there's a bomb in this package, and there's a bomb in this package as an audience. I can't remember if you see it get packed or whatever it is, but this kid has it. I think it's on the way to bomb a theater or something like that. I can't remember. Or they know he's going there, and that's why they want him to carry the bomb to get there by 1:45. So there is again another literal ticking clock. The kid moving into more and more in a way packed, and then also, I guess in this case, royal intersecting lines. Hitchcock is keeping your mind on the package and its mechanism. It's interesting he goes to gears here, right? Something that is infallible, unlike man. That thing is going to go off one way or another. And then, we're reminded of the literal clock and time ticking by. He doesn't quite maybe have the luxury of having seen Hitchcock's Sabotage, so he doesn't know what shoulders to stand on yet. But we're seeing, a more and more massive people, delayment, is that a word? Until famously he gets on the bus, right? We know it's ticking by. I think here, though, there is a certain different relief tension that we know it's going to go off at a specific time. We don't know. I actually, you know what? I remember this from last time. Check this out. Where'd it go? He sets it for... What is that? 1, 2, 3. It looks like 4 minutes from our wait, no. 1, 2, 3. It looks like 3 minutes from our perspective. Where's that for? It's like 3.5. What do you let go? Put an in there. And then when does it blow up? Please, memory, don't fail me now. It explodes. Out. At 3 minutes and 11 seconds. So I think because of perspective, it looks like maybe, that's 1, 2. He sets it for 3 minutes in the beginning of a single shot that goes down several blocks with red lines drawn. There's all this movement. They knew how long the shot was going to go. There's no speeding up or slowing down. There's no computer replacement after. These are all moving things. It's clearly, look how bright it is. I think it's getting brighter. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's getting darker. I don't know. It looks cloudy. Literally, it's 3 minutes, 11 seconds, and 18 frames. Anyway, so I guess if you're paying attention, you know when it's going off, right? So that's another thing. The but it's also, we're in Hollywood, right? So time is, it's a little liquid, right? It can compress, it can expand. So we're back to here, right? 1:45. So we're cutting, right? So like we don't have quite the same grip on time when we're cutting, right? Or space. But we're on a bus. We're passing, we're a minute after. He's going, was that 5 minutes past? He's maybe fudging it a little bit, like He's not letting. I mean, you can't like really sit in that. You get, you know, maybe. Stops at a stop sign. And the fucking bastard. He's just letting the moment. Yeah, okay, so let's watch it. So we're at the stop. We know we're right at the 45 mark. You know, stock footage out in the real world, getting real image, you know, stock footage somewhere in London. I think this is where this is, right? They're on the left side. There's all the, yeah. I mean, they didn't, I don't think they shot it. Same thing that's out in the real world. That's on a stage somewhere, rear projection or whatever. That's a model if I've ever seen a model. But like he's, I mean, you know, he's prep. You know that you know the fall off in the shadows. You know the contrast ratio is not daylight. You can kind of start to surmise maybe the scale of these things by the level of detail and all that kind of stuff. Somebody probably built this. I'm assuming. Make me look like an ass. Okay, so we're right on the money, right? It's 1:45. The mechanism is there, like, so now he's extending the time, right? He's by the and with the music rising. We know it's gonna crescendo all together. We're sustaining the note. We're gonna stay with it, hold it, and then you know we another cheap ass. That's literally like, you know, balsa wood or whatever the hell it is, right? There's maybe like there's a firecracker in there, literally, and a lot of smoke. That's some shaky compositing, but I mean, it's compositing, right? But yeah, that's interesting. So that's a real background from another movie. There's something. This is maybe like some sort of, you know, cops and robbers movie or something like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing. With this whole thing optically composited, because that's kind of why it looks so kind of jank. Well, this is also from YouTube. Totally comped in. And then I'm guessing another layer of smoke here. Or I don't know if they're together or not. They don't really look together. Just long enough. Right, well, I didn't capture that, so I don't know. But we're working with our sense of anticipation. With each new cut, it's like we're kind of like we're starting the pressure back up, but it's already starting at such a high level, so it's kind of like ramping up a little bit more each time, and you kind of get to reset like a little bit before you go up, so you're able to kind of maybe be pushed a little higher in a way. But similarly with Touch of Evil, as it's moving into close-ups, it's also like from the wide into it, there's like a certain, you know, pressure that's building from just even within the space. That, you know, also happens with the wide angle lens, right? You have to, it's harder to pressurize that when you move it into, you know, the close up, as it were. All that pressure is behind it, right? You feel it, even if you're not aware of technically what's going on. I would argue subconsciously, if you're just watching the movie, you're feeling it, like, at least subconsciously. If you're not, you know, oh shit, that's right, there's a bomb. But yeah, 3 minutes, right on the dot. I remember this movie being okay. This is the sequence. Really, this is why you're here. This is the price of admission. So yeah. Anyway, that's the opening oneer of Orson Welles'. I'm giving him credit. Well, it's been mangled, but Orson Welles' Touch of Evil. I think it's obscene.